5 signs you should let go of a relationship. Relationships are the cornerstone of human connection. They shape our emotions, define our sense of belonging, and provide us with comfort during life's uncertainties. Yet, as vital as relationships are, they can also be a source of profound pain and disillusionment when built on shaky foundations. Not every connection is meant to last, and sometimes the hardest thing to do is recognize when it's time to let go. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone who's supposed to care for you, or noticed patterns of behavior that made you question their loyalty, sincerity, or even their intentions? The truth is, not all relationships are healthy, and clinging to toxic ones can harm your mental, emotional, and even spiritual well-being. The Bible reminds us, "Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals." 1 Corinthians 15:33. It's a stark but necessary truth. When we ignore the signs of a failing or damaging relationship, we risk compromising not only our values, but also our peace of mind. Today, we'll explore 5 undeniable signs that signal it's time to let go of a relationship. These aren't fleeting moments of misunderstanding, but persistent patterns that chip away at trust, respect, and your sense of self-worth. Through this journey, we'll uncover stories, reflect on the wisdom of Scripture, and lean on the insights of C.S. Lewis to shed light on these complex dynamics. Letting go isn't easy. It requires courage, discernment, and a deep commitment to protect your peace. But when you understand the signs, you equip yourself with the clarity to make decisions that nurture your well-being. It's time to evaluate the bonds we hold dear and ensure they uplift, rather than drain, the very essence of who we are. Sign 1, they erode your self-worth. Healthy relationships should build you up, not break you down. They should inspire confidence, encourage growth, and foster an environment where you feel safe and valued. But when someone constantly undermines your self-worth, whether through subtle jabs, overt criticism, or emotional manipulation, it's a glaring sign that the relationship is doing more harm than good. This erosion often starts small. A dismissive comment about your achievements, a sarcastic joke that cuts deeper than it should, or repeated reminders of your perceived flaws. Over time, these behaviors pile up, turning what once felt like minor irritations into a mountain of self-doubt. What's worse, toxic individuals have a way of making you believe it's all in your head. Take Emily's story, for example. She was a driven professional with big dreams and a fierce determination to succeed. Yet, her partner always found ways to diminish her accomplishments. "You're so lucky to have gotten that promotion," he'd say, brushing off years of hard work and dedication. When she confronted him, he laughed and said, "I was just joking. You're too sensitive." Slowly, Emily began doubting herself, questioning whether her successes were the result of skill or just luck. C.S. Lewis once said, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less." Yet toxic people twist this wisdom. They use your humility against you, making you feel as though acknowledging your strengths is arrogance. They condition you to accept less, convincing you that you should settle for what they offer, no matter how little it may be. The Bible warns us about this. "The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing." Proverbs 12:18. When someone constantly uses their words to tear you down, rather than uplift you, they are not acting out of love, but control. This manipulation doesn't just affect your self-esteem, it creeps into every area of your life. You start second-guessing your decisions at work, feeling insecure in social settings, and doubting your ability to pursue your dreams. The weight of someone else's negativity can become so heavy that it feels almost impossible to rise above. True love and friendship aren't about perfect people. They're about mutual respect. The right people in your life will challenge you, yes, but only in ways that help you grow. They won't belittle your efforts, mock your dreams, or make you feel small. Instead, they'll celebrate your successes, comfort you in failure, and remind you of your worth when you forget it yourself. If someone consistently erodes your self-worth, it's time to ask yourself a hard question. Is this relationship helping you become the person you want to be, or is it holding you back? Letting go might feel like losing a part of yourself, but the truth is, you're freeing yourself to rediscover the confidence and joy that you truly deserve. Sign 2, they betray your trust. Trust is the bedrock of any meaningful relationship. Without it, even the strongest connections will eventually crumble. When someone betrays your trust through dishonesty, gossip, or broken promises, they don't just harm your relationship, they strike at the very core of your sense of security and belonging. Betrayal often comes in subtle forms at first. Maybe a friend accidentally shares a private detail you asked them to keep secret. Or a partner conveniently omits important information, leaving you to fill in the gaps. These moments, while small, chip away at the foundation of trust, like water dripping on stone. Over time, the cracks grow wider until the entire structure collapses. Consider Sarah's experience. She confided in her coworker, Linda, about a personal struggle she was facing, something deeply private that she thought was safe between them. A week later, Sarah overheard snippets of her story being shared around the office, twisted and exaggerated for gossip. When she confronted Linda, her response was flippant. "Oh, I didn't think it was a big deal." But for Sarah, it was more than a betrayal. It was a revelation that Linda wasn't the friend she pretended to be. The Bible speaks strongly about the value of integrity. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Proverbs 11:3. When someone breaks your trust, it's not just their actions that hurt, it's the realization that they don't value the bond you share. C.S. Lewis offers a profound insight into this dynamic. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. Betrayal often reveals not just a moment of weakness, but a deeper absence of honor or respect. The damage of broken trust extends beyond the immediate relationship. It can make you wary of trusting others, forcing you to build walls instead of bridges. And while caution is sometimes necessary, living in constant suspicion can rob you of the joy of genuine connection. Rebuilding trust after betrayal is a daunting task. It requires genuine remorse, consistent accountability, and a willingness to do the hard work of repair. But the truth is, some relationships aren't worth rebuilding. If betrayal becomes a pattern rather than a mistake, it's time to reevaluate the connection. Ask yourself this: can you rely on this person in your most vulnerable moments? Can you share your fears, dreams, and truths without the worry of judgment or betrayal? If the answer is no, then holding on to the relationship will only bring more pain. Life is too short to surround yourself with people who devalue your trust. Remember, a trustworthy relationship is one where both parties feel safe, respected, and seen. Anything less is a disservice to the love and peace you deserve. Letting go may be painful, but it's also the first step toward reclaiming your sense of security and self-respect. Sign 3, they create drama and chaos. Some people seem to thrive on chaos, constantly stirring the pot and leaving a trail of discord wherever they go. In a healthy relationship, challenges are inevitable, but they're addressed with understanding and a desire to resolve them. In contrast, those who create drama often manufacture conflict where none exists, dragging you into their whirlwind of emotions and turmoil. At first, it might seem harmless, just a dramatic personality or someone who's overly expressive. But over time, you start noticing a pattern. Every small misunderstanding becomes a catastrophe. Every decision, no matter how minor, leads to unnecessary conflict. Instead of bringing calm to your life, they bring tension, leaving you feeling exhausted and emotionally drained. Take the story of Mike and his close friend Rob. Rob was charming and fun to be around, but he had a knack for creating tension. He'd overreact to innocent comments, twist situations to make himself the victim, and thrive on spreading rumors to fuel arguments between mutual friends. Mike found himself constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of triggering Rob's next outburst. In the end, the emotional toll of navigating Rob's chaos became too heavy for Mike to bear. C.S. Lewis captures this reality beautifully. Pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. Chaos in relationships forces us to pay attention, to discern whether we're holding on to something destructive out of habit or fear. The Bible warns us against associating with those who sow discord. A troublemaker plants seeds of strife. Gossip separates the best of friends. Proverbs 16:28. People who constantly create drama often do so for attention or control. harmless, but their actions have devastating consequences on your peace of mind. Drama makers often position themselves as the victim, painting others as the villains in their stories. They'll exaggerate their struggles, blow minor issues out of proportion, and make you feel responsible for their happiness. This manipulation isn't just exhausting, it's a form of emotional abuse. Over time, it can make you question your own judgment and feel trapped in their cycle of chaos. When you find yourself in a relationship that feels like a constant storm, it's worth asking, is this connection adding value to my life or stealing my joy? Healthy relationships bring clarity and comfort, not confusion and chaos. Letting go of someone who thrives on drama isn't about abandoning them in their struggles. It's about protecting your own well-being and recognizing that their behavior is a reflection of their inner turmoil, not your responsibility. Choose relationships that bring peace, not chaos. Seek out people who uplift you, who address conflicts with grace and honesty, and who strive to make life's inevitable storms easier to weather. Let go of those who pull you into their endless drama, and you'll find that life becomes far more balanced, peaceful, and fulfilling. Sign 4, they are emotionally unavailable. A fulfilling relationship requires mutual vulnerability and emotional presence. When someone is emotionally unavailable, it feels like you're pouring your heart into an empty vessel. You give your time, affection, and support, but all you get in return is indifference, deflection, or outright avoidance. Emotional unavailability manifests in various ways. It could be someone who refuses to discuss feelings, a partner who avoids difficult conversations, or a friend who dismisses your struggles with vague platitudes like, "You'll be fine." Over time, this creates an emotional void that leaves you feeling isolated, unsupported, and even unloved. Consider Jenna and her boyfriend, Alex. Whenever Jenna tried to open up about her feelings, her fears about work, her hopes for the future, or even her insecurities, Alex would shut down. "Why do we have to talk about this now?" he'd say, or he'd change the subject entirely. Jenna began to feel like her emotions were a burden, and eventually she stopped sharing altogether. The Bible emphasizes the importance of emotional connection. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 17, verse 17. True connection requires presence, not just physical but emotional. When someone withdraws from that responsibility, they leave you carrying the weight of the relationship alone. C.S. Lewis offers another perspective. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. Love demands emotional openness, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable. When someone refuses to take that risk, they deprive the relationship of the depth and intimacy it needs to thrive. Emotional unavailability often stems from unresolved issues, past trauma, fear of rejection, or a desire to avoid vulnerability. While these struggles are valid, they're not excuses to neglect the emotional needs of others. Relationships are partnerships, and both parties must be willing to invest emotionally. The harm of emotional unavailability is subtle but profound. It leaves you questioning your worth, wondering why you're not enough to make the other person open up. You might even blame yourself for their detachment, thinking you're asking for too much. But the truth is, emotional connection is a basic human need, not a luxury or a favor. Ask yourself, do you feel heard, seen, and valued in this relationship? Or do you feel like you're constantly reaching out, only to be met with silence? Emotional unavailability isn't always malicious, but it's a sign that the other person isn't ready or willing to meet you where you are. Letting go of someone who is emotionally unavailable is an act of self-care. It's acknowledging that you deserve a relationship where your emotions are embraced, not ignored. Life is too short to invest in one-sided connections. Seek relationships where vulnerability is met with compassion and where your emotional needs are treated with the respect they deserve. Sign 5, they resent your growth. True relationships are built on mutual support and celebration. A genuine friend or partner will cheer for your successes and encourage your progress. But when someone resents your growth, it becomes a toxic cycle of envy, subtle sabotage, and emotional manipulation. Their inability to celebrate your achievements reveals a deeper insecurity and a fundamental lack of respect for your journey. Jealousy often hides behind veiled comments or forced smiles. Imagine you've just shared the news of a promotion you worked tirelessly for, only to hear, "Must be nice to have all the luck." Or maybe a close friend forgets to congratulate you, but spends hours pointing out why they could have achieved the same, if only circumstances were different. These aren't minor slights. They're signs of a deeper resentment that can poison even the strongest bond. Take David's story, for example. He had a friend, Kyle, who always seemed to support him, until David started succeeding. When David bought his first home, Kyle remarked, "Wow, your parents must have really helped you out." When David started his own business, Kyle joked, "Guess some people just get all the breaks." Instead of celebrating David's milestones, Kyle turned them into opportunities to diminish his hard work. C.S. Lewis captured this dynamic perfectly. Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. When someone's self-worth depends on comparing themselves to you, they will see your victories as their failures. The Bible also warns against envy. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. James 3:16. Envy doesn't just harm the person who feels it, it creates chaos in relationships, breeding mistrust and undermining genuine connection. Jealousy rarely stops at words. Over time, it can manifest in actions designed to sabotage your success. Maybe they accidentally leave you out of critical conversations or fail to mention an opportunity they know you'd excel at. Their resentment becomes a silent competition, one in which they're determined to see you falter. The damage of this behavior is profound. Instead of feeling supported, you feel like you must downplay your achievements to avoid triggering their insecurity. You stop sharing your victories, dimming your light so they don't feel overshadowed. But sacrificing your growth for someone else's comfort only diminishes you in the process. Ask yourself, are the people around you lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they celebrating your success or silently resenting it? True friends and partners don't just tolerate your growth, they inspire it. Letting go of someone who resents your progress is not selfish, it's necessary. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and celebrate your achievements. Life is too short to stay in relationships that make you feel guilty for shining. Remember, those who truly care about you will never see your success as a threat. They'll see it as an inspiration. Trust, respect, and emotional connection are the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Without them, even the closest bonds begin to fracture under the weight of suspicion, resentment, and unfulfilled expectations. Recognizing the signs of a toxic relationship isn't just about identifying problems, it's about protecting your peace and reclaiming your well-being. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered 5 undeniable signs that a relationship may be holding you back. They erode your self-worth, betray your trust, create drama and chaos, remain emotionally unavailable, or resent your growth. These aren't minor flaws to overlook. They're red flags waving loudly, urging you to reassess your connections. The Bible reminds us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. Protecting your heart isn't an act of selfishness. It's an act of wisdom. You deserve relationships that build you up, not tear you down. Connections that inspire you to grow, not make you question your worth. C.S. Lewis said it best, "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending." Letting go of a toxic relationship is not a failure, it's a step toward a healthier, more fulfilling future. It's a choice to prioritize your happiness, emotional safety, and personal growth over the comfort of familiarity. Evaluate the relationships in your life with honesty and courage. Do they lift you up or weigh you down? Do they bring you peace or chaos? Choosing to walk away from toxicity may be difficult, but it's also liberating. Surround yourself with people who see your worth, celebrate your successes, and encourage your dreams. Life is too precious to spend it with those who don't. Trust yourself, guard your heart, and make space for relationships that truly honor who you are.